There we go. I figured it out, y'all. All right, we got one person in here that's joining me right now. I will wait a few more minutes. About 7:02, we will get going. This session is about tips for new directors. So we'll get some people in here, see if we get anybody. But I might be talking to one person, two people, but you guys can watch this at a later time. I know everybody's busy running leagues, running tournaments, whatever. Um, but anyway, hey, what's up, Simon? Watching from the UK. Right on, brother. Hope things are going well over there. I would like to make a trip over there someday. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get started, guys. First of all, my name is Chad Smith. I am the Mid North area manager, which includes 12 states in the United States that I'm over. And today we are going to talk about tips for new directors. And there's a little saying that I saw a little quote that I want to put out there. It costs nothing to treat someone with respect. So that's just something to think about. It'll tie in to what I'm about ready to tell you all. All right. On the agenda for today, the first one is first and foremost. Then we're going to go preparing for your events, conduct with players, running successful events, and the last one's very important, just staying humble. All right. So what you want to do first and foremost, you want to familiarize yourself with the software. What I found to work for me best when I very first became a director about 6 years ago, I did a lot of practice events. I created dummy tournaments, and I did every possible scenario that there is, and that really helped me out. So when it came time to run a regional, I was very familiar with the software, so that way I didn't get caught up or anything like that. So make sure you guys know the software in and out before you guys get ready to run your first tournament. And then thoroughly understand all of the ACL rules and regulations. Make sure you guys know and stay up to date on the new rules. The big one this year was the no stepping over the line. So make sure you guys are familiar with that. And then, of course, you always want to be the first one to arrive and the last one to leave all of your events. You're the first one there. You got everything set up. Obviously, you're the last one to leave because you got to pick everything up. I've actually been to tournaments where the director has not showed up until about 10 minutes before it's time to start. And you can imagine how that tournament went. So let's not be one of those and make sure we're there first thing. Okay. Pre-registration. Require pre-registration to ensure accurate player bracketing and timely tournament starts. So what this does is it helps you start on time, and it's the less cash that you have to worry about carrying around at your event. Since we went to this digital wallet, it has been a lifesaver for myself, and I'm sure many other directors. That way you're not having a bunch of cash and you're not worried about going to the bathroom and having to take that cash with you or what have you. So make sure that they pre-register for the events. And something that I like to do personally is to give away a free regional for somebody that does pre-register. So a week before my regional starts, I will put everybody's name in a wheel, and I'll spin the wheel, and then whoever's name gets drawn up gets that regional for free. So that way you're interacting with the players. and you're letting them know that you do care, that they're pre-registering. And it's really helped my numbers out on getting those people to pre-register, because everyone likes to sign up late. So I kind of figured that this would help out, and it has. Be punctual. I just went over that. And then designate a main court, by establishing um, banners or whatever, A-frames, what you have. That way, you kind of separate the main court from everybody else, and then you can have your chairs, and then that way everybody can come watch and see your top players and stuff. So um, if you don't have room for that, then maybe just block off your number one court, and then that way people do know that you that's your main stage. Okay, next one. Player engagement. This is where we get good. Player engagement. Get to know your players on a first name basis. So what I have seen that works very well for me, and I think it works well for others, is remembering the player's name. So you see people that sign up, and then you don't know really who they are. So what I'd like to do is, when I find out players that are new, I'll go to find out what court they're on, look at their name on the thing, and then I'll get a name with a face. So that way it helps me remember their name. So, and I can't stress this enough, guys, remembering people's name will go a long ways. I've had players come up to me and they're like, "Holy cow, man! How do you remember everybody's name?" Well, that's something I take pride in. That's something that you should take pride in, is remembering everybody's name, because people want to be known by their name. So, welcome newcomers. Make a point to go talk to new players. So here's the thing: is if you want to grow your area, then you gotta make them feel comfortable. So let's think about this, right? So if you go to a tournament, right? You go to two tournaments, and you go to tournament A, right? And the director is very friendly, welcomes you, starts talking to you and gets to know you and stuff like that, right? And so you're like, okay, well, this is pretty cool. And then say you go to another tournament, and that director doesn't really say too much or say anything to you. So which director are you going to go back to and probably play in, right? You're probably going to go back to the director that made you feel comfortable and welcomed you. So that's what I mean by welcoming newcomers. All right. Um, let's see. Post event appreciation. Express thanks to all participants after each event, both in person and through social media. So I've seen that works, and I've seen a lot of directors be doing this, is they'll do like a recap of their regional, and thank everybody for coming, because they have many choices, and they decided to come to your regional. So make sure you thank them. I thank people as they're leaving. Always tell them thanks for coming. Just doing little stuff like that, guys, it goes a long way with these players. Um, you make them feel important. You know, if what I'd like to do is go around and, before the event starts, I'll do a final walkthrough and start mingling with the players before we get ready to start. I'll go around high-fiving players and stuff, and that really sets the tone for how the regional's going to be ran, right? So if you're not that type of person that's openly that likes to do that, that's okay too. But me personally, I like to go out and I like to high five, and I like to mingle. All right. Open communication. Thoughtfully consider player feedback and ideas. So basically, you want to have an open mind on things, right? Um, be willing to try different ideas besides your own. If players come up to you and say, "Hey, I have an idea. What do you think of this?" And that has happened to me multiple times. I can't tell you how many multiple times, guys. So just be very open-minded, and when you do use their idea, it goes a long ways with these players. And they're like, "Okay, well, he's easy to talk to." So and that's what you want to be out there. You want to be somebody that's very approachable and very easy to communicate with, and you're open to the players' ideas and feedbacks. Um, Last one is professional demeanor. Have a professional approach in all player interactions. So what basically is, there's going to come times when you might find a disgruntled player or something, right? And they're getting irate and stuff. And so the best advice that I could give is stay calm, take a deep breath or whatever, hear them out, right? And then problem solve or do what you need to do to rectify the situation. So just be very professional when you're dealing with other players. Don't be getting belligerent drinking out there or what have you. We're representing the ACL, so we want to make sure that we are professional when we have to interact on certain situations. All right, let's see, number 6, running successful events. This is the fun. All right. So branding and visibility. Use custom mats with your logo on the main court to enhance branding and create a professional atmosphere. So if you have those mats or rugs or whatever, that sets it off from the other courts. All right. Sponsor integration. Integrate sponsor A-frames strategically to provide visibility and define clear pathways throughout the venue. So what I mean by this is, your A-frames depends on your location that you're at and stuff. I'll just give you an example. I had one that was on a soccer field just recently, and there's only one entrance, and you had to walk through the where the players come out onto the field and stuff. Well, I need all the space that I can get, and so I had boards like on every side where you walk out. So I put my A-frames up, which has my sponsors and stuff like that. Plus, it's good sponsorship, for your sponsors. You're getting that out there and stuff. But have a little walkway so that way players aren't walking in to someone that's getting ready to throw a bag or what have you. I've seen that happen too many times at events, and it's players get upset and stuff like that. So just kind of separate it and then make sure there's always a clear path and stuff. All right. Innovative approach. Embrace innovation and explore new ideas to create unique and memorable events. So, this is kind of what I said just previously, but I'm going to add a little something to this. You got to think outside the box. So if you guys are say, for instance, you're getting stagnant on your numbers on your players and stuff, and you're trying to think of different ways to get players in. This is where you guys start thinking outside the box, to whether, say, you do like a last man standing before you guys start regionals, say you play like blackjack or skee ball or 8-bag challenge, whatever you guys have come up with. That's thinking outside the box. And another thing that I think on this is, cornhole is getting pretty saturated in every area. And so you want to be able to stand out from the other directors that you're kind of going up against, saying they're in with a different company or what have you. You got to really work harder than that next director in order to continue to get those numbers. Be very passionate about what you do, and people will start coming. You run good events, you're punctual, you're on time, you get to know them, you know their name. I'm telling you guys, this goes a long ways with these players. Okay. Open and honest communication. Transparency is key. Don't be afraid to share your payouts or other information publicly. So what I mean by this, guys, is, after you guys get done running your events the next day or whenever you guys decide to do your post, you go down and you congratulate all the winners, and you highlight them, you put their names out there and stuff like that. Well, I like to take it another step further. And why is that? It's because I got nothing to hide, guys. You got nothing to hide, right? So if you show those payouts, there's nothing to hide. That's transparency. The ACL does it, so us directors should do it, right? The ACL post how much those players make. So it made me think, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. And so I started doing that. I got use a Google sheet, and I put all the winners. I post all the payouts, and everything's right there. And so if there's any discrepancies, more than likely the players are going to shoot you a message, say, hey, I don't understand how you did it this way. And then you just go in and explain it to them, how you did your payouts. And there's one thing I did kind of leave off that's very, very, very important, guys, is when you're going into your registration and setting up a regional, they have this little thing in there. It's called event details, right? Make sure you put everything in there about your tournament, your time starts, your percent on payouts, how much it costs to get in, when players can expect to get paid. Make sure you have all that in there. So that way, if there's any discrepancies, you can say, did you read the event details? Well, no, I didn't. Okay, here, let me send that to you. And that's what I do, guys. I send it to them, and then that creates that eliminates all the confusion of anything. So let's be very transparent, guys. There's nothing wrong with posting your payouts or anything like that. So, transparency is key in order to run successful events, guys. And this last one is stay humble. Remember that as a director, you are serving the player community. Always maintain a humble perspective and approach all interactions with a spirit of gratitude. Recognize that player involvement is what makes these events possible. Avoid any behavior or attitude that suggests superiority over the players. Instead, foster a culture of mutual respect and camaraderie. And so that kind of ties into the saying that my little quote that I had posted, guys. You can't demand respect from these players. You have to earn it. All right. You have to earn it, guys. Once you earn it, right? How do you earn it? You go by busting your butt, right? By running successful events on time, showing the players that you care about them, right? These are some keys to running successful events, right? And the stay humble part, as you guys continue to grow, as you continue to grow your area, just stay humble. Don't think that you're above everybody else, because honestly, we're all in the same boat, guys. Just stay humble and be happy and thankful for the people that come to your events and show up and stuff like that. These are some of the tips for you guys. Hopefully, this kind of will help you out in the long term. This is kind of what I have done in my area for 6 years, and it's been pretty positive. So if I can share this with you guys, then I'm here for it. If you guys have any questions, you guys can always feel free to reach out to any of us, and we will be more than happy to help you guys out because we want to see you guys succeed as well. That's pretty much all I have for today. If there's any questions, looks like there's only one person on here. I don't know if Simon's still on here or not. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you all for going to watch this video soon. And remember, man, have fun doing this because it shows if you're not to the players, you know. Make sure you're always smiling as much as you can. High five your players, thank your players. You can't thank your players enough. That's all I can say is thank them for coming, thank them for whatever they do to show up and play, because it's about the players, guys. And anyway, that is all I have to say. Hope this was very educational for y'all, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.